One psychological move that makes women chase you obsessively. Modern Stoic. In the end, love is not about what you can give, but about what you both create together. Unknown. In the realm of relationships, men are often misled by the idea that constant effort and overcommitting are the keys to winning a woman's heart. We're told to chase, to prove our worth with grand gestures, to always be available, and to send that first good morning text. The advice we hear encourages us to overgive, over-explain, and overextend ourselves in an attempt to earn affection. But here's the truth. The reality of attraction isn't about proving yourself through relentless actions. The subtle psychological move that truly makes a woman gravitate toward you is rooted in something deeper than mere gestures. In this article, we will explore what really sparks her interest, debunking the common myths that often lead men astray in relationships with women. 1. The difference between chasing and being chosen. You've been misled about what really gets a woman's attention. They told you to chase. They told you to prove yourself constantly, to be the one who always texts first, the one who's always available, the one who gives more than she ever asked for. So you did all that. You overgave, you overexplained, and you overcommitted. Yet, she pulls away. She sends you mixed signals. And in the end, she chooses someone else. That's the bitter truth. You put all this effort in, but somehow, you're not the one being chased. And here's where it stings. You start to believe it's because you're not attractive enough, not rich enough, or not confident enough. But in reality, the answer is much simpler than you think. You've been playing from the wrong playbook. The real problem is that while you're focused on winning her over, she's evaluating if she even wants you in the first place. You're chasing, but you've missed the most important step, figuring out if she wants to be caught by you. This is where you're getting it wrong. And if you keep operating from this flawed mindset, you'll keep running in circles, getting attached too quickly, giving away too much, and wondering why she loses interest. This is the problem with constantly chasing, thinking that you can prove your worth through endless gestures. The truth is, women don't want to be convinced. They want to feel chosen. They need to feel that you, as a modern Stoic, have the self-control and the strength to stand firm in your own value. You don't chase because you don't need to. You make your presence known and leave room for her to decide if she wants to pursue you. That's the real key. When you embody the blessing of Stoicism, you carry with you an aura of quiet confidence and emotional discipline that is far more magnetic than desperate overgiving. The old Stoic understood this principle well. True power lies in self-reliance, not in convincing others to validate your worth. And this is why you should never beg for attention, affection, or validation. You must understand that the best relationships are built on mutual desire, not desperation. You don't want her to chase you because you beg for it. You want her to chase you because you are the type of man who doesn't need to beg. So, what's the move? It's simple, really. Become the type of person who doesn't need to chase, who understands that being chosen is about holding your ground and making her feel the desire to pursue. This doesn't mean you play games or act aloof. It means you don't overextend yourself. You show her your worth subtly through actions, not words. You live by the Stoic principles of self-mastery, not emotional dependency. When you can do this, you'll notice the dynamic shift. Women will start pursuing you, not because you're perfect, but because you are a man who embodies the core principles of Stoicism: self-control, inner peace, and unwavering confidence. You must make the decision to stop chasing, because when you do, you'll understand what it feels like to be chosen. This is the art of attraction, being enough without needing to prove it. That's when the chase truly begins. For her, The power isn't in the chase itself, but in mastering the self, in becoming the man who doesn't need to chase because he knows he's already enough. Let the Stoic way be your guide. 2. How to change and become the man she thinks about nonstop. In this article, I'm about to break it down for you. I'll reveal what you're doing wrong and, more importantly, how to flip the script. I'm going to show you exactly how to become the man she thinks about nonstop. The man who doesn't chase because he's being chased. By the end of this, you'll understand the secret that 99% of men will never learn. Imagine this. You're sitting there, carefully crafting the perfect text. You're trying to say all the right things, making sure everything looks smooth. Meanwhile, she's checking her phone, not to reply to you, but to see if someone else has messaged her. You're rearranging your entire schedule just to fit her into your plans. She, on the other hand, is wondering if she even feels the spark while you're staying up late thinking about her. And here's the kicker, she's already forgotten what you said to her yesterday. This isn't a judgment, it's reality. And it's happening for one simple reason: you're chasing. She's choosing. You've been led to believe that relationships thrive on giving her what she wants, on being her perfect knight in shining armor. But here's the truth: when a woman gets to choose without competition or challenge, her interest fades. Attraction isn't sparked in comfort, it's ignited in uncertainty. And that's where you've been missing the mark. The sad truth is that everything you've been taught about relationships is backwards. The more you try to please her, the more she pulls away. Why? Because real obsession isn't triggered by giving her everything she wants. It's triggered by becoming the man she can't stop thinking about, the man who has mystery, the man who doesn't show all his cards at once. This is the blessing of Stoicism, where the quiet strength you embody leaves her guessing, craving, and desiring you more. Stoic lessons guide us in this: how not to chase, but to live in a state of power and indifference to the outcome. Let's be clear about something: attraction isn't about playing games. It's about understanding one fundamental truth: you must become the kind of man she desires, without putting her on a pedestal. Now, I know this might feel uncomfortable at first. You might think, but I have to show her I care. Here's the thing: caring too much too soon, that's not what makes her obsess over you. You've got to be comfortable in your own skin, independent and confident. When she senses that you don't need her validation, that's when the shift happens. That is when she starts chasing you. When you stop chasing her, she's forced to consider something bigger. Why isn't he always available? And here's where the beauty of the Stoic life comes into play. A Stoic man has a sense of inner peace that doesn't rely on external validation, not even from her. The more you step into this mindset, the more you'll find women, and people in general, are drawn to you. It's a quiet, magnetic force, not a loud, desperate one. You might be wondering, but how do I actually become this man? Here's the answer. Start by being scarce. If you're always available, always eager to please, you'll quickly become predictable, boring, and easy to forget. Women don't chase men who are predictable. Be hard to get, but not in a manipulative way. Be busy with your own life. The more you live on your terms, the more women will want to be a part of your world. Remember, don't over-text. Don't over-explain. Don't over-validate. These actions scream desperation. Instead, you must be confident enough to let the mystery linger. Leave her wondering what's next. And when you do see her, don't make her the center of your universe. That's the biggest mistake you could make. Instead, focus on your passions, your goals, and your mission. She will notice. She will wonder. She will feel an emotional void that only you can fill, and that will drive her crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not about playing hard to get for the sake of it. It's about making sure that you don't lose yourself in the process. The key here is being a man of purpose, a man who has a life beyond her, a man who is self-sufficient and confident. This mindset is a direct embodiment of the blessing of Stoicism, being emotionally independent and impervious to external validation. When you live this way, you're not looking for approval, and that's what makes you irresistible. When you're not constantly chasing her, she will find herself asking why she's not the one in control. This mystery will intrigue her, and soon enough, she will start thinking about you nonstop. Remember, become the man who doesn't need her, but the one she needs. You'll never have to chase again. So, are you ready to step into the world of Stoicism and truly understand what it means to attract without chasing? Because when you master this art, you'll unlock a new level of relationships. The Stoic lessons you'll learn aren't just about attraction, they're about living a life of power, calmness, and quiet strength. This is the kind of man who never chases but always gets chased. 3. Exploring how scarcity creates attraction. Every woman has a limited amount of mental space, a piece of real estate that's constantly being filled with the clutter of daily life, work, family, stress, hopes, fears, and everything in between. But there's a small, precious section of her mind, the most valuable space, that's reserved for the things she can't shake off. These are the thoughts that replay over and over, the lingering questions that have no answers, and the moments that stand out as different. They carve a permanent space in her psyche. The truth is, simple scarcity creates attraction. The more you make yourself rare, the more you will be remembered. Think about it. How many men truly get to this point? Most are just a passing thought, like a billboard on the side of the road. They're noticed for a second, then forgotten. But a select few men understand the power of Stoic principles, the ability to remain calm, steady, and distant when others are desperate for attention. They know how to build something permanent in her mind, an emotional structure that she keeps returning to. These men never beg for attention. They don't need to be constantly present. Their actions, their words, their behavior, they speak volumes, even in silence. The Stoic man is not the one who chases after validation or approval. He is the one who creates an aura of mystery and control, a magnetism that draws her in with effortless precision. And this is how he enters that psychological space in her mind. Why does scarcity work? Because it taps into a deep, primal desire, the fear of losing something valuable. This is a powerful psychological tool, and yet so few men use it. Most are desperate for attention, constantly putting themselves forward and saturating her thoughts. But the man who embodies Stoic wisdom knows when to step back. He knows when to speak, and more importantly, when to remain silent. He understands that too much of anything can breed familiarity, and familiarity breeds contempt. By choosing his moments wisely, he ensures that he is never an afterthought. He becomes an unforgettable presence. This principle goes beyond simple attraction. It's about mastery of your own behavior and emotions. You must control the narrative. When you step back, you allow her to feel the absence, to wonder, to reflect. The void you leave behind makes her want to fill it. She will chase you not out of need, but out of desire. She will seek you because you've created a space in her world that no one else can occupy. Remember, the mind will always return to what's unfinished, what feels unresolved. This is where the Stoic principles come into play. Control yourself first, and you will control the situation. Let her come to you, and when she does, you will know how to master the game. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Be different, Be scarce. Be the one she cannot forget. The one she must chase. Don't chase her. Make her chase you. This is not just a game. It's the foundation of powerful attraction. Master it. Become the man who commands respect, who doesn't beg for attention, but instead earns it through the art of controlled scarcity. Let your presence be rare, and watch her obsession grow. 4. Creating scarcity and value in the relationship. The modern Stoic understands something crucial that many men overlook: scarcity breeds value. Think of attraction as an economy driven by supply and demand. The more readily available, accessible, and eager you are, the less value you hold. When you constantly text, shower her with compliments, and are always available, you become the emotional equivalent of a clearance sale, plentiful, predictable, and utterly unremarkable. This is where most men sabotage themselves without realizing it. They create an artificial abundance of their presence, and in doing so, they reduce the excitement and mystery that naturally draws people in. But here's the secret: the real power lies in creating artificial scarcity. You don't have to be cold or manipulative to do this. You just have to recognize your own worth. You, as a man of value, should treat your time, attention, and energy as precious commodities. The modern Stoic isn't a man who doles out his presence on a whim. Instead, he makes it earned. He doesn't make himself easy to get. His attention isn't a freebie. It's selectively granted, given only when it aligns with his purpose, mission, and values. And when you do this, something extraordinary happens. Your presence becomes something worth pursuing. You're not distant or disinterested. You're rare, valuable, scarce, and deeply sought after. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding the blessing of Stoicism. The Stoic man knows his worth and doesn't dilute it by being overly available. His sense of self doesn't hinge on validation or attention. Instead, it's grounded in the philosophy of the old Stoic, who understands that to be sought after, you must first be selective with your presence. As a result, women begin to chase you, but it's not out of manipulation. It's because you've tapped into something primal. The rarer you are, the more a woman will crave your attention. And this is where the real shift occurs. Instead of chasing her, you start evaluating her behavior. You no longer scramble to win her over. Instead, you step back and assess whether her actions align with the level of value you've already established. Are her intentions clear? Does she respect your time, your energy, your mission? You've stopped being the one who seeks good. And now, you're the one who evaluates whether she's worthy of your attention. This shift is a game changer. When you embody the principles of Stoicism, when you operate from a place of self-respect, value, and strategic scarcity, you create an irresistible magnetism that makes women want to pursue you obsessively. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because your presence is a rare gift that she can't take for granted. And that's the power of the modern Stoic mindset: to stand firm in your value, to create a space where your attention is earned, and to shift the balance of power in your favor. You must stop chasing validation. Instead, embrace the blessing of Stoicism and let your worth shine through the selective nature of your presence. When you do, watch as the dynamics of attraction shift dramatically in your favor. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who could benefit. Subscribe for more wisdom on mastering your relationships and mindset. Comment to remember I am rare and my presence is valuable. By creating scarcity and valuing your time, you become a man who is selectively present, making others crave your attention. 5. Self-confidence and independence as strong attraction factors. let's talk about one of the biggest draws for women: the power of self-confidence and independence. Men, pay attention. It's not just your interest in a woman that catches her eye. It's how you carry yourself in the world. When you walk into a room, do you walk as though you're sure of who you are, or are you uncertain, seeking validation with every step you take? It's the difference between being a man that women chase and one they forget. A woman doesn't need a man who looks to her for emotional support at every twist and turn. She doesn't want someone who is constantly looking for approval. What she craves is a man who is solid on his own, confident in his skin, independent in his actions. A man who makes decisions without second-guessing and stands firm in them, especially when it comes to his relationships. This is the psychological move that makes women chase you obsessively. A man who isn't swayed by the whims of others but instead trusts his own judgment. Now think about this. Independence is a magnetic force. And it's not just financial independence, though that does play a part. It's more than that. It's about emotional and mental independence, too. When a woman observes that you can manage your emotions, deal with challenges, and move forward without needing her to fix things, she sees strength. Strength is a quality that will have her thinking about you long after you've left the room. The Blessing of Stoicism teaches us that we must control what we can and release what we can't. Imagine applying this mindset to your relationships. When you rely solely on your own decisions and your own emotional equilibrium, you've adopted one of the key Stoic lessons to be unshakable. In fact, your emotional resilience and independence become one of your greatest assets. Women aren't looking for men who are fragile and dependent on them for emotional validation. They are drawn to the calm, composed man who handles life's stresses with grace and poise. So why does this work? Why do women find independence so irresistible? Because deep down, everyone craves security, and nothing screams security like a man who's already got his life together. A man who doesn't need her to fill the holes in his life, but rather is an addition to an already full existence. That's a man who can stand on his own 2 feet, ready to walk side by side with someone, not to lean on them for support. And let's face it, dependence is draining. Women don't want to feel like they're carrying someone emotionally or financially. They don't want to be the one constantly reassuring, constantly boosting someone's ego. They want to be a partner, not a caretaker. When you show independence, whether it's in the way you manage your career, your emotions, or your lifestyle, you make her see you as someone who can be her equal, not her project. But here's where it gets deeper. Independence isn't just about being able to survive alone. It's about thriving. It's about cultivating your life, your passions, and your dreams. Regardless of what anyone else thinks, women are drawn to men who are actively shaping their world. It's not the fact that you're financially stable or emotionally steady that will make her chase you. It's the quiet confidence that you've got it together and that you don't need her approval to validate your worth. Your worth isn't up for negotiation. That is powerful. This is where the blessing of Stoicism truly comes into play. A Stoic life isn't about isolating yourself from others. It's about being centered, knowing what you want, and going after it with calm resolve. Your ability to be yourself, unbothered by the approval of others, creates a space where others, especially women, are naturally drawn to you. Your focus is on what you can control, not what others think. That's magnetic. Women chase that, so here's the big takeaway. Be the man who doesn't need anyone to define his worth. Be the man who builds his life with or without others in the picture. That's the foundation of a relationship that women desire. They will be drawn to you not because you need them, but because they see a man who stands strong on his own and whose life is already full. When you're confident and independent, you don't just attract women, you make them want to chase you, and they'll respect you for it. A stoic life, where you control your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, will always be a life that draws others toward you. Stay grounded, stay confident, and stay independent. That's the psychological move that turns the tables and makes women see you not just as someone they can admire, but someone they can't let go of. 6. Creating emotional safety. In today's world, emotional safety is non-negotiable when it comes to building a deep, lasting connection with a woman. Women seek security not just in physical strength but in emotional stability. They need to feel heard, understood, and respected in their most vulnerable moments. A man who embodies Stoic principles understands the value of this emotional safety. He doesn't just listen. He listens with intent, with empathy, and with the assurance that he won't judge her. He creates an environment where her emotions are safe to be expressed freely. You must embody strength not only in your actions, but also in your demeanor. Your calm, composed nature, your ability to weather any storm without flinching, sends a powerful message. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Instead of reacting impulsively, show restraint. You must provide a sanctuary for her emotions, a space where she can open up without fearing rejection or ridicule. Trust is not built overnight, but it is built on these small, consistent actions. When she feels she can trust you with her thoughts, feelings, and fears, the bond deepens immeasurably. You must protect her vulnerability as fiercely as you would protect your own. But here's the thing. This is not weakness. It's strength. The true power of a man lies in his emotional fortitude, in his ability to be stoic and yet compassionate. Stoic principles aren't just about keeping your own emotions in check. They're about using your emotional intelligence to create an environment where the woman you care for feels safe to express hers. Never forget, being strong means knowing how to wield your strength, not just physically, but emotionally. Be steady, be dependable, show up without fail. The woman who feels safe with you won't just follow you, she'll chase you. She will seek that emotional refuge only you can provide. This isn't a manipulation tactic. This is a foundational element of true leadership and a healthy relationship. So be the man who offers both strength and compassion. Be the man who doesn't let her walk alone when the world feels too heavy. By living in alignment with Stoic principles, you don't just give her emotional safety, you make her obsession with you inevitable. She'll see you as her rock, her safe haven, the one man who can weather any storm with her. And that's a bond that's unbreakable. 7. The ability to solve problems and make decisions. The ability to solve problems and make decisions is more than just a practical skill. It's an incredibly attractive trait. Women, in particular, are drawn to men who can stay calm under pressure, assess situations with clarity, and act decisively. This doesn't just apply to work or personal life challenges, but also to the difficult moments that inevitably arise in relationships. Think about it. Relationships have ups and downs, and in times of conflict or confusion, a woman needs a man who can lead with confidence. That is what makes you stand out. You must be the man who takes charge without dominating, who steps up without making her feel inferior. It's about balance, showing her that you can navigate through life's storms with the quiet strength of an old Stoic. This is where the blessing of Stoicism truly comes in. Embrace it. The modern Stoic knows that being composed and rational is far more powerful than acting impulsively. When you make decisions from a place of calm and reason, it builds trust and respect. Women crave stability, and the man who can offer it, even when the world around them feels chaotic, becomes someone they can rely on. Leadership in a relationship is not about controlling every situation. It's about providing a sense of security through your decisiveness. By demonstrating that you can solve problems with a clear mind and unwavering confidence, you show her that you are someone she can count on. This is an essential piece of attraction. It's no longer about being perfect. It's about being the man who can handle the unexpected and guide the relationship with clarity and integrity. The modern Stoic understands that vulnerability in decision-making, being open to growth, to mistakes, is part of what makes you not only strong but also deeply relatable. Don't hesitate. Be the decision-maker, the problem-solver, the rock in her life. The old Stoic wisdom still holds true today. A man who is calm in the storm is a man who commands respect. Don't doubt it. This simple trait will draw her in and keep her wanting more. If you've made it this far, you're learning what most men never understand. It's not about being perfect. It's about being decisive and confident in the toughest moments. Real leadership is about calm decision-making when things get tough. And that's what attracts her to you. Please comment below, I am the man who leads with confidence and clarity. 8. Paying attention to the small details. When it comes to attracting women and making them obsess over you, there's one psychological move that stands out: paying attention to the small details. Now, this may sound trivial, but it's far from it. Small gestures, little nuances that show you're paying attention, can have a monumental impact on how a woman feels about you. And this isn't just some fleeting flirtation tip. It's the art of truly making a woman feel valued, seen, and dare I say, cherished. You must understand, women love the small things. It's not just about buying her expensive gifts or showering her with grandiose acts. No, it's about noticing the little things she says, remembering her favorite song, or recalling the way she likes her coffee. These details matter because they show her that you're paying attention, not just in a surface-level way, but with depth. That's the kind of attention that makes a woman feel truly special. Let me put it this way. Have you ever had someone remember something small but significant you once said? That moment of recognition when someone makes a tiny yet meaningful effort to acknowledge you? It hits differently, doesn't it? Women want to feel that same depth of connection. It's not about grand gestures or constant compliments. It's about showing you've been listening to the little things, those unspoken desires, those hidden needs that she might not even voice aloud. Take, for instance, a time when she casually mentioned she loves a certain type of flower, or that she once traveled to a place that holds deep memories for her. Now, you don't have to act like a detective or obsess over every little thing she says. But when you remember these tiny details, when you show that you care enough to remember, you're already a step ahead. That's the kind of thing that keeps her coming back for more. You're not just another guy in her life. You're the guy who notices. Incorporating this into your life isn't hard, but it does require a mindset shift. The Blessing of Stoicism teaches us to focus on the things we can control and let go of the things we can't. When you focus on the details that matter and eliminate the distractions, you're aligning your actions with a clear, purposeful intent. Women can sense when you're genuinely present with them, when you show up not just with words but with authentic attention. It's powerful. Think about the Stoic lessons you've learned. Life is about consistency and presence. It's not about being perfect, but being present. Women don't just want to feel that you're checking off a box of things to do to impress them. They want to feel that your actions are sincere. They want to feel like you're truly investing in them. The best way to do this is by remembering the small details. This shows you care, not just that you're trying to win her over. So, here's a key takeaway. Don't let the small things slip through your fingers. Be intentional about noticing what she likes, how she feels, what makes her smile, what excites her. These are the things that truly matter. You don't need to be a grand philosopher or an expert in romantic gestures. All you need is to commit to the Stoic life of mindfulness and attention. Your efforts don't need to be perfect, but they must be real. That's what makes the difference. Don't underestimate the power of paying attention to the small details. It's often the smallest gestures that create the most significant impact. Remember, women don't just want a man who can win them over. They want someone who sees them for who they truly are. This simple Stoic lesson can make her chase you obsessively, not because you're trying too hard, but because you're real, you're present, and you're someone who truly cares. In the end, you must understand this: women seek authenticity above all. It's the little things that will build the foundation of a lasting, meaningful connection. So start paying attention. Start noticing, and let the power of the small details work its magic. That's how you turn a casual connection into something that lasts, and how you make her think about you long after you've left her side. 9. Making life interesting and bringing humor. A key psychological move that will make women chase you obsessively is rooted in one of the most powerful human traits: the ability to make life interesting, fun, and filled with humor. A man who brings joy, laughter, and a sense of lightheartedness to every situation holds a magnetic attraction. It's simple: women are drawn to men who can make them laugh, make them feel alive, and help them forget the weight of the world. Humor is not just an accessory, it's a necessity. It disarms tension, builds connection, and turns ordinary moments into memorable ones. Women feel at ease and comfortable with a man who can effortlessly create an atmosphere of joy, because he is not afraid to break the heaviness of life with a joke, a witty remark, or a playful attitude. This is where the Stoic principle of maintaining inner calm and joy despite external circumstances becomes a game changer. A Stoic man, grounded in his ability to remain peaceful and humorous despite life's challenges, becomes the one others gravitate toward. His calmness, mixed with the power of humor, creates an irresistible aura. It's not about cracking jokes 24/7. It's about being present and enjoying life with a light heart, a trait that many find alluring. As Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The ability to stay light, humorous, and engaged with the present moment makes you attractive on a deep level, because it shows emotional intelligence, confidence, and a healthy perspective on life. Don't underestimate the impact of humor. It allows you to remain grounded and present while making others feel welcomed and free. You must understand that women crave this balance of strength and lightness in a man. They chase after those who embody it. Make no mistake, this principle of bringing joy into the lives of others is not a trick or manipulation. It's a natural result of mastering life through the lens of Stoic wisdom. If you can bring that kind of energy into every encounter, you will naturally attract women who want to share in the happiness and calm you radiate. Oh hey, thanks for sticking with me until the end. If you want to get a woman's attention and keep it, remember, it's not about chasing her all the time. The real secret lies in building a full, meaningful life. Don't make yourself constantly available, and never forget to make yourself special in the eyes of others. When you live a life that's rich in purpose and fulfillment, women will naturally want to be a part of it. You won't need any tricks or pickup lines. Your life will speak for you. So focus on becoming the best version of yourself and trust me, everything else will follow. Keep growing, keep evolving, and you'll see the difference in your relationships. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.